Hello beauty queens, and yes, I'm back with another video. This video will be some steps to take before buying a home. So I've been thinking about this video for so long, and I kind of went back and forth with it, like should I, because I didn't know exactly what to say. And I kind of been just jotting down some notes here, taking some notes just from my last video, because I'm like, you know what, if it's not exactly how I want this video to turn out, I can always film another video. I mean, sometimes I'm a little scatterbrained. All the time I'm a little scatterbrained, so I kind of want to get my mind in check and kind of just write down some things here. This is kind of an order. I want to say maybe 3 steps to take before buying a home. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, step number 1 I would say to take before buying a home: know your credit. Know your credit score, know your credit report, know everything that's on it. I know sometimes checking your credit can be very, very scary for some people, but know your credit. If that's what you want to do, if you want to set out to buy a home, always know what's on your credit. It may not be as bad as you think it is, and if it is as bad as you think it is, go ahead and take control of it immediately. Because sometimes when you get on your when you get online and looking for your credit, one particular app I love to use is Credit Karma. And also, if you want a credit report, I believe it's freecreditreport.com. You can get 1 free credit report per year. That's a good thing to see everything that's on your credit in detail. But the thing I like about Credit Karma, it gives you a deep summary of the things that are on your credit report. Okay, so first things first, I would definitely say know your credit. Know what's on your credit report, and know your credit score. It's very important to know that before you make any other attempts of purchasing a home, because it's very imperative to know that. Okay, and if you want me to go into depth about any of these steps, I do plan on making more of these videos in the future. So if there's anything you want me to go in depth about, feel free to leave the comment below. Okay, number 2, I would definitely say know what you can afford. And when I say know what you can afford, I mean write down every single penny of what you're spending on a monthly basis. Know your expenses. Write everything down. I don't care if you have a cat and buy cat food, write it down. Know exactly how much you can afford. Know to the penny. Try to know to the penny of what you can afford when purchasing a home. Write down everything. I have a budget book that I keep, and that I just filmed a video on it. This is my budget book, and it is a video on it. Know every expense that you have before inquiring or buying a house or whatever. Know your credit score. Number 2, know how much you can afford. Know how much you can afford is very important. Write every single expense down, no matter how low or high. And number 3, I have now number 4. I guess I don't really have a number 4, but saving I think saving is like that's a known thing that I shouldn't have to say, because of course if you're wanting to buy a house, I'm sure you've been saving and things like that. So that's not even a step. So number 3, I would say get pre-approved. Okay, now I know you're probably thinking like, Sylvia, no, people say get pre-approved first, numero uno. The reason I say know your credit score for yourself, know how much you can spend for yourself, because when you walk into that bank, they're going to look at your debt to income ratio. Okay, that's just one of the things they check, right? When they look at that debt to income ratio, your food is not on that debt to income ratio. Your cat food is not on that debt to income ratio, and your tithes and offering are not on that debt to income ratio. The things you like to splurge on yourself are not on that debt to income ratio. Your hair ain't on that. Your hairstylist money ain't on it. Your salon appointments, your finger appointments, whatever. That's why I say you need to know for yourself how much you can afford before you go down to them folks' bank and figure out what you pre-approved for. I'm just being upfront with you. Know your own credit score and know how much you can afford. The reason I tell you to know those two things for yourself, because before you even get to step 3, you may be able to enhance or better yourself before going to step 3. Because if you don't have a good credit score, and I know it's not only based off of credit, I know a lot of people who make a lot of money a year but have shitty credit scores and can't get approved for anything. And the reason I say know your own credit and know how much you can afford is because you control that before you even have those going down to the bank, going to the financial institution, calling the financial institution to see how much they'll approve you for. I feel like you should get your, get that kind of thing in check for yourself before you get down there. I mean, I can't tell you what is a good credit score to have, because every bank is going to be different. Like I said, they're going to look at a lot of things: credit, debt to income ratio, history, all those kind of things. Okay, so I know a lot of people say get pre-approved first so you can know how much the bank will approve you for, but I don't think so, because I feel like if you know your credit and you know how much you can afford, you should already know what bracket you should be in. So if you know you're only making this amount of money, don't go and think you're finna go get a $500,000 house or something like that. You have to start somewhere. So that's why I always say it. I know a lot of people say get pre-approved first, but why have them running your credit and all that other stuff if you don't even have the, just the foundation set into place? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, number 1, know your own credit. Number 2, know how much you can afford. And a lot of times when you go get pre-approved, which is number 3, it's important to get pre-approved so you can know for sure how much the bank is willing to allow you to have. But the thing about sometimes with the bank, they'll also over approve you. So say for instance, you did your credit, your credit check, you know how much you can afford, and in your mind you're thinking, I should be able to afford around maybe $150,000 house. Okay, so let's say you can afford that. That's just an estimate. I'm just throwing out something out there. But then you get to the bank and the bank was like, okay, congratulations, Mr. Smith, Miss Smith, you guys are pre-approved for a $225,000 house. And you're like, like, wait a minute, like, how am I able to afford that much of a house? And you getting yourself all excited, and they get you pre-approved. You go out and find a house that's amount. You even go out and find one that's $230,000, and they let you to get up a little bit more, whatever the case may be. Then you get in that house and it hits you like a ton of bricks that you are house poor. So that's why I always say know your credit score and know how much you can afford, because at the end of the day, whatever they pre-approve you for, let's say they pre-approve you for $225,000, and definitely I can manage $150 comfortably. Go with what your gut is telling you, you know what I'm saying? And don't go off of future, where you're going to be in the future. Like if you know you're a nurse right now and in 5 years you're going to be a doctor, don't go off of your pay when you're a doctor. Go off of when you're a pay as a nurse, because if you can handle that house when you're a nurse, you can definitely handle it when you're a doctor. That's just kind of giving you guys just a scenario there. And I know it's so much more that goes into buying a home, but I just want to take you guys to 3 important steps before buying a home so you guys could know. Also, when you go get pre-approved, do your research. In your area, I know everything varies from state to state. Know what kind of loans are out there for you. You have a number of different amount of loans. If you're a veteran, you have veteran loans. If you're in an area where it's rural, you have rural development loans. FHA loans, you have conventional loans, which I think conventional is when that's like maybe like a 20% down payment. FHA is a more affordable down payment, maybe like 3%, 5%. Don't quote me on that. I know everything's varied from state to state. And then you also have rural development. I don't know if other areas allow this, but basically that's like when you're in a major city and you can get financing in some of the rural area around that major city, to where you can get a house financed as out there in a rural area for 100% finance without putting anything down. just know your options basically. If you're a veteran, I don't know how much, I think the veteran could be 100% financing, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but just know your options. Also, a lot of people don't know, and this is a whole nother video, like I can see this being more than just this video on home buying, because it's so much goes into home buying that it's just so much that I know for when my husband and I decide to maybe move on to maybe our second home or whatever we decide to do in the future. I feel like I know so much more now. I'm happy with the purchase that we made initially, but I know a lot now. And basically, you can, when you're buying a home, you don't have to settle for how much they're offering, or even when they counter back, you can also ask for closing. It's a lot of those things, and you can watch a lot of HGTV for a lot of those things. Also, just do your research. You know, don't take my word for it. I'm just making some suggestions here, but I would definitely say those are 3 important steps to take before buying a home. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful to someone. This video has ran over way than I thought or I expected it to. I am a proud homeowner. I know a lot goes into owning your home. You are responsible for every single thing, and I'm one of those people who love older homes, and I think the next home that I do decide to buy would definitely be a new build or something like that. I just always love like older homes. I love the character in older homes, but it's a lot that goes into maintaining a home when you own a home as well. And don't feel pressured just because you're a renter that you have to go out and buy a home. I'm just helping out. You can use those first 2 steps in renting as well. You can know your credit, and you can know how much you can afford to when you're out there looking for something to rent. Okay guys, so I think it's time for me to go ahead and wrap this up. Somebody keeps entering the room. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Big kisses, and I'll see you guys later.